I've burned through more multi-tool blades than I can count. Today I'm sharing with you the ones that give you the best value, not the most expensive and not the cheapest, just the ones that get it done without breaking the bank. This kind of goes and coincides with our holiday video that we shot. Go check it out, the one we filmed at Home Depot. I went back there this morning and I was showing you some of the oscillating blade selections that they had. We had a couple comments on our YouTube channel about different blades. Hey, show us what you think are good blades. What's a good value? Now I have brand new Diablo blades and brand new Milwaukee blades that I got on sale on the holiday sales, and I'll share with you the price and all that. And then I also have some cheapies from China that I bought on Amazon. Like I got like 50 of these for 32 bucks or 23 bucks, or it was like super cheap. When I'm purchasing multi-tool blades, lately I've just been buying the least expensive ones I can find, like on Amazon, and those have lasted a long time. I think I bought like 200 of them, and I probably spent $50 to $60 on all those. But this morning, I think I spent $150 on all these kits, regardless of the price, because I was buying so many different things, right? So this 8-piece kit, plus a carrying case, so it's actually a 9-piece kit, I suppose, was $39.88. $5 a piece. You know, $5 a piece is not bad for a high quality blade. The one that I'm going to go to the most in this kit is the one that's carbide tipped, because that carbide blade is usually $20 for that one blade. So that's a pretty sweet deal to get all those blades in one kit. Now, this set here, which is 5-piece, it's a 5-piece general purpose, was $29.88. So these were $6 each. So maybe I shouldn't have bought those. And then this one is a 5-piece Milwaukee set for $19.88. So those are $4 a piece. And like I said before, these I think I paid 50 cents a piece for. I call these throwaways. If we're cutting into wood and we think there might be a nail or something behind it, I tell the guys, hey, use a throwaway. Don't use a $20 carbide blade. Or if we're cutting like siding and we need to get up into the siding, let's say there's siding and there's siding nails and you're trying to get behind the siding to pull it away so you can reflash the house. Okay, that's a legit thing to do. You may end up using a carbide blade instead of one of these cheapies, because as soon as this hits nails, you throw it away because it's no good no more. It goes up behind the siding, and usually I can clip any nails that might be holding the siding in, and then it makes it really easy to get our flashing installed. We use them for thresholds, wood cutting, nail cutting at times, and hardly never use them for stainless steel because they just burn out. But then again, we have different grades of blades for different applications. Today, I'm just going to be plunge cutting and doing some stuff in wood just to see if I notice a difference between brand A, brand B, and brand C, and see which one is going to do it the most efficiently and for the price. So our range of blades are 50 cents up to $6. Okay, so somewhere in there. So those $6 blades, if I was gonna pay $6 for a blade, it's gotta be rough cutting or carbide. So let's open these cases up and take a look, and then we'll find a few to compare. So I'm gonna get into this 8-piece right away. Here's the case, opened it up. Everything's kind of on a hanger, which is kind of cool. Okay, so here's a nitrous, extreme metal it says. This is a carbide blade. And usually the brands are indicating that by putting a red indicator on it somewhere, I've noticed. This is a highly coveted blade. This is the gem of this kit. So definitely gonna wanna test that out. Then let's go through the rest of these and see what we got. So this is multi-materials. This one says it's titanium charged. So I'm not sure what that means, but maybe it'll cut wood better. I don't know, we'll try it out and see. This is just a wood blade, standard wood blade, probably a finer tooth, so it's gonna be for a finer cut. I'm gonna compare it to my cheapy 50-cent blade here. It's finer tooth than the cheap blade. Probably gonna set that one to the side. Again, here's another wood blade that's just the same as that one. And then we have a couple of multi-material, titanium charged again. So those are like this one. So there's 3 of those in the kit. Okay, so you get 3 titanium charged blades and 3 wood blades, which I'm always down for wood blade, man. I mean, we need them. And then the last one is a wide titanium charged wide blade. So for wider cut. So maybe for your thresholds and things like that, that might be a good blade for that. And that's a multi-material blade as well. So that is kind of cool to have a little carrying case, and you can put your blades in there and then stash them away. This other Milwaukee kit looks like basically these are the same blades as these. I'm probably just gonna open this case up and put these in there. There is one hardwood blade in here, which we didn't have in this kit. So there is one blade inside this kit that we didn't get in the others. So if you're a hardwood floor guy, then this might be a good kit for you. If you're doing standard wood and then you have like Ipe, well, or if you're doing like a hardwood deck, Ipe, things like that, that could be a good blade for you. I don't have any hardwoods here to test on, so probably not going to open this up. This says it's an $83 value. And 5 blades? Come on, man. I think you're stretching it. And then we have the Diablo kit. There's 5 blades in here. We have clean wood, nail embedded wood, and this one's carbide. See how it's red again? Like it's painted red, so you can kind of identify it real easy. Okay, so for giggles, we'll compare carbide blade to carbide blade. And then we got to compare some kind of a wood cutting blade and then the cheap blade. And here's nail embedded wood. Here's a wide one, bimetal, and nail embedded wood. So let's choose this one, nail embedded wood. We're gonna choose this one to compare as well. I think that's a fair comparison. Enough talk. What we're gonna start doing is we're gonna plunge cut into this 4x6, and we're gonna make 3 cuts on most of these cuts. We'll cut down, and then we'll cut side grain, and then we'll cut in through this side as well. And we'll just see if we notice a speed difference or a cutting of ease difference between these different blades. Let's just start with the Milwaukee wood blade. We're just using an older DeWalt oscillating tool with a fresh, well, this has a 12 amp hour battery on it, so it's super fresh, very loud and obnoxious. But we're gonna start with this Milwaukee wood blade and see how it does. Seems like it's taking a little bit longer than normal. So I would say slightly below average, but it's my first one to cut. So we'll see how the other ones do compared to this one. Basically, we've wore off the paint. I don't know if you can tell that or not, but just a little bit of worn paint. The blade still seems fairly sharp. It just didn't quite cut aggressively as I'd like, but we still have other blades to test. So that was the Milwaukee. Let's do this Diablo nail embedded wood with a curved contact edge. Definitely cut through the side grain quicker. I would say out of those two, this one probably did a little bit better. Most of the paint's gone. I'm sure after a couple more cuts it would be. And the sharpness is still there. So I say this one has an edge over the Milwaukee. But to be completely fair, let's try the generic, the 50-cent blade. All right, this one is smoking. You can smell it. It's just burning through the wood. So even though it's got a sharp tip, it's not cutting through the wet wood like the other blades are. So I'm not gonna spend 10 minutes trying to make this cut. I would say that this definitely has its place in our arsenal, but it's not for the type of cuts we're making today. Womp womp. Okay, we have this multi-material Milwaukee, titanium charged. Let's try that. Multi-material may be better for metal than wood, so I would put that below the wood blade on the Milwaukee side of things. We got 2 blades left. Just for giggles, let's just see how these carbide tip blades do. All right, we'll start with the Milwaukee carbide tipped extreme metal nitrous carbide. Extreme metal? Yeah, that fits right with Calvin's philosophy of music, right? All right, not the most perfect cut, but effective. I would say out of all the Milwaukee blades we tested, this one did the best. It was the quickest and it had pretty good cutting action. So definitely a carbide blade for the Milwaukee. Now we're gonna finish off with this nail embedded wood carbide tooth Diablo and see how it does compared to that Milwaukee. I don't know, guys, they're all very similar. I would say the carbide tooth blade on the Diablo side, probably the same as the nail or the wood cutting blade. Maybe a little bit tiny quicker, but I couldn't really tell. Of the Milwaukee blades, definitely the carbide one did the best, but nothing was super fast. So I don't know, I might have to look into maybe some more aggressive wood cutting style blades in the future to see if we can find something that might take a better swipe at pressure treated lumber or something like that. I think this was a pretty aggressive test. Like, it's not easy material to cut through. It's not like a dry interior trim or something like that. So this is wet, clogging type materials that are often wet and hard to cut. And we're also plunge cutting into the face of things, which takes longer to do. With that being said, I think that the budget type blades are just not quite cut out to do what we were doing on our test today. But between the Milwaukee and the Diablo, I would probably go with the Diablo brand, at least for wood. The wood cutting blades seem to do a really good job, and they did cut a little bit cleaner and a little bit faster than the Milwaukee ones did, except for the Milwaukee carbide. That one did pretty good. That might be the top performer of all the blades today. Okay, so as far as longevity, the carbide tip blades are definitely going to be the ones that are gonna last the longest. If I had to go out today and buy only one blade for everything I had to cut, I would probably go with this Milwaukee right here. If I had to buy several blades in a kit, then I would buy this one here. It was the most expensive of our tests, but it gave you the most bang for your buck for $5 a blade, I think is what we boiled it down to. At $5 each, they say it's $140 worth of blades. I don't believe that. At $5 a crack, even if you ruin a couple, it's not gonna be the end of your day, right? You have 8 more or 6 more or whatever more to go get and use. So I definitely think that of everything we tested, the carbide tipped ones are definitely the best. The carbide tipped are always gonna last a lot longer than a standard blade. You can cut through nails as long as you don't stay in one spot and hammer the nail and overheat it and then melt it to the blade or melt a hole in the blade. These carbide tip blades can last weeks versus maybe several cuts on a wood blade, but as soon as you hit metal with a wood blade, you're pretty much asking for it. It's pretty much done. So if you know you got nail embedded wood, there's some of these that say, oh, nail embedded wood, bimetal, that kind of thing. Those might be better than a wood blade, but they still could end up costing you because you're gonna cut out the life of the blade. But if you use a carbide tip blade, those are absolutely gonna last the longest, 3 to 4 times longer than a standard wood blade. If you're cutting with a wood blade and you're only cutting wood, you can expect a wood blade to last several weeks or multiple cuts, like hundreds of cuts, before you'd have to either resharpen it or get something new. Usually for us, what wears out a blade is overheating and metal. Those two things damage and hurt blades more than anything else. In an ideal situation, having these 8 blades, I could get a couple months use out of this blade for $40, I think is what we said it was. I could, you know, $20 a month. I think I could get a couple months out of this, just depending on use and how much we use it. We don't use oscillating tools every day. We use them more in pre-construction, house prep, and during construction sometimes. A lot of times we're just notching PVCs and things like that. But when we get into wood and heavy gauge wood and nail embedded wood, that's when it starts taking out our oscillating blades. They used to be really expensive. When you're buying onesie twosies of these in the tool corral at your local home center, they're gonna cost you a lot of money. If you end up buying these in a kit like this for Christmas, go down to Home Depot right now. This was the last one, by the way. This was the last one in the tool aisle in the kiosks. We just did the video. Go watch the video. Go see how many of these were in the video. Today, I bought the very last one that they had. We filmed 1 week ago on this video, and they had a whole rack of these. Now there's none. You might be too late, so go check it out. If you're not too late and you pick up and you score a pack of these, leave a comment below. These cheap blades, these cheap blades, to be honest, it's worth spending $25 to have 50 of these just in your kit. And these end up being sprawled out everywhere, but every time I see one, I'm like, oh yeah, hey, I'm gonna grab that. Because these can last a week, 2 weeks, depending on the cuts, depending on the type of cut, depending on the thresholds, depending on whatever it is we're doing with it. A lot of times we're notching something out. I've even used these for accurate cuts in PVC decking when I needed to create a special notch. So I'm not discounting these. This blade just didn't cut it for the testing we did today. It's a softer wood, but it's still a framing material, pressure treated hemlock, okay? That's what we used in our cut test today. So it's not a bad thing to have some Amazon blades in your kit, and then have your carbide ones that you hide from the crew, and then have your all-purpose stuff for everybody to use. Actually, I might take this kit back, because when I did the math, these cost more for the 5 on average than if I bought it in this kit, which was $5 each. This is $6 each. It's only $1, but it's $1. That's $5. I don't know if that matters to you. If it matters to you, then maybe you buy this, but you're gonna spend more on this kit than you're on this one, 10 bucks more. The 29, this is 39. I see the value in the $39 kit, plus a cool little case, plus I can throw extra blades in there and have everything in one spot. All right, guys, that's all the time we have today. Remember, those carbide blades are great. Everything else, not bad. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Link below for our podcast, and go buy a t-shirt for Christmas. They make great stocking stuffers. Links in the description below. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.